Hi guys, welcome to pregnancy week 33. I am 33 weeks and 1 day today. I turned over 33 weeks yesterday on Friday, January 3rd, and I've had some pretty crazy symptoms this week. One in particular that threw me for a scare. So if I look a little rough around the edges today, that's one reason why. So as I go on in this video, I'll get more detail about that. So my symptoms for this week: hips feel bruised and they ache when I'm sleeping at night. Sorry if y'all hear scratching noises. I got my dogs in the cages. Sleeping at night is just pointless. Like I don't sleep. I feel like I'm basically awake the entire night because I am constantly tossing and turning and getting up to go pee. I'm also craving sweets constantly. Doesn't matter what it is. I hope that these sweet cravings wear off after she's born, because if they don't, I'm going to be in trouble. I have never in my life craved so many sweets. I don't even care for sweets like when I'm not pregnant. Like before I got pregnant with her, sweets just wasn't a big deal to me. I didn't have to have it. But since becoming pregnant, it's something that I have to have all the time. I've been waking up every 1 to 2 hours at night to pee, and that is also keeping me from getting sleep, and which brings me into more further detail here in a minute of what's been going on with me this week. Liliana has kicked me for the first time in my rib, and it was very painful. It was very unexpected. I was actually in my kitchen walking, and I felt this jab on my left rib, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was sitting there trying to like push her down, and she was literally lodged in my rib there on the left side. And I thought, holy smokes, that is painful, because of all my pregnancies, I've never experienced getting kicked in the ribs. And of course, Liliana has to be the one to do it. I've had a very itchy belly on the sides and in the front, mainly up towards the top of my stomach and on the sides. I've been keeping a lot of lotion on my stomach because of that, just because it helps kind of calm the itch. I had cramps that came, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning, and they lasted all night until early that next morning. Well, actually up until that noon. And it was continuous. It wasn't like come and go. It stayed with me. So that kept me up all night that night this week, because I was just so uncomfortable. I couldn't sleep. I had the cramps. I did sleep off the cramps a little bit for a couple hours, but I thought, you know, they were really low abdominal cramps, almost like period cramps, but you know, there was no sign of labor. There was no sign of any bleeding. No water broke. So I was like, I guess it's just ligaments and everything stretching down there, but it lasted for a pretty good time before it finally subsided. The big thing this week, yesterday, I woke up at 9:30 in the morning. I felt fine. I had a bowl of cereal for breakfast, and I started cleaning up the house a little bit, and I realized that about 30 minutes into me cleaning house, I couldn't take very many steps across the floor without getting completely out of breath and my heart feeling like it was going to pound out of my chest, literally. So I sat down, and when I was sitting down, it's like my body started calming down, and it was starting to get more like regulated. And as soon as I stood up was whenever it started up again. It's like I was just getting out of breath. Like, you know that feeling if you're running outside in really cold air for like a mile and you don't stop? You know, when you do stop, you're just like, you know, and you've got like that pain in your chest, you know, from breathing in all that cold air. That's how I felt, literally. You guys taking 2 or 3 steps across my floor. So, and on top of that, my heart was beating really, really fast. My heart rate was up. So I decided to check my blood pressure with our blood pressure machine that we have here at home, and I did it sitting down, and whenever that read, it read that it was 92/57, I believe, and that was normal, and my heart rate was 113, I think, or 115, one or the other, and that was up for a resting heart rate. So I figured I would then check my blood pressure standing up, since that's when I noticed I was at my worst. So I put the cuff back on and I checked it standing up. Before the blood pressure machine even finished checking my blood pressure, I instantly felt like I was going to pass out. I had to lean over the sink. And so as soon as the blood pressure machine got my blood pressure read, I looked at the screen and it read 168 over 113, and my heart rate was 142 beats per minute. Normal is between 80s and 90s. So it was very, very high on both ends, and I got worried because of the fact that I still felt like I was going to pass out. I was to the point of I couldn't remember where my phone was, so I was having my oldest help me look for my phone when it was sitting right next to me the whole time. So I was starting to become very forgetful also, and I got my phone, called my husband, told him what was going on, and he stayed on the phone with me for a couple minutes and told me to go ahead and call my doctor, see what she wants me to do. I instantly already knew she was going to want me to go to the ER. So I went on ahead and called and talked to the nurse and told her, and she's like, oh wow, with your blood pressure being that high, you need to get to the ER. So I told her, I said, that's almost impossible right now because I am at home with 2 kids and my family lives 2 hours away and my husband is 4 hours away at work. So I could have had the ambulance come get me. So what she told me to do is to lay down on the couch with my feet propped up, elevated on a pillow, and drink 2 full water bottles. And do not stop drinking them, just drink them. And so I did that, and after about an hour and a half, I started feeling much better. Like, my heart rate was down, it was a lot slower. I didn't feel like I had the passing out, lightheaded feeling anymore. I had to pee really, really bad, so I had to get up, and I was a little nervous about getting up because I was afraid my blood pressure was going to shoot up again. And my biggest fear was preeclampsia. So I got up, I went pee, and I noticed I'm fine. You know, my blood pressure's not going up, my heart rate's not going up. I felt completely normal. So I started doing a little bit of cleaning while at the same time I'm still drinking water. And then I decided to eat some lunch, and I was completely fine after that. So I called my husband back and told him, and he kept checking on me every like 20 minutes, calling me, because he was going to take off work and go ahead and come to the house and take me to the hospital, because he was already on his last load. He's a gasoline hauler, so he was heading back towards home anyways. So if worse came to worse, I was still going to go to the ER if things didn't get any better. But things did get better, and like I said, my blood pressure did not continue to skyrocket anymore. I've been fine today. Turns out I was dehydrated, severely dehydrated. I never would have thought that I was dehydrated because of the amounts of water I take in daily anyways. I constantly stay thirsty. I have my days where I'm not as thirsty as others, but overall I drink a ton of water. So the 2 nights before that, when I was having the cramps and everything and I was having to get up to go pee every 1 to 2 hours, I literally drained my body of all the fluids that I had took in. And throughout the night, I wasn't drinking anything. So yesterday morning when I woke up and I had my bowl of cereal, I hadn't had anything to drink until I had that episode. So my body was completely drained, and I feel drained today. Like, I'm just, like, I feel like everything's just drained out of me. So, yeah, and last night I wasn't having to get up and pee every 1 to 2 hours. It was more normal. I was getting up every, maybe a few hours. I only woke up 1 time last night to go to the bathroom and pee. So, but I didn't go to bed until midnight either. But today I'm having to go to the bathroom once every hour just because I'm still continuing to drink all these fluids, to try to reestablish these fluids that I've lost. But yeah, it was definitely scary. I pray that it doesn't happen again. My worst fear was, like I said, preeclampsia. But that wasn't the case. So that's really good. And Liliana, during the whole time, I was, doing her kick counts, and she was moving just as normal, not any less than what she would any other day. And yeah, so everything seems to be okay with me now. So really, really good. Because I've never had any complications during any of my pregnancies, and this has been a first. And basically at the hospital, they would have just done the same thing. They would have hooked me up to an IV, gave me fluids, put me on a heart and fetal monitor, and once everything was calm, then they would just send me home. So it's like, I'm going to see what I can do at home before I rush myself to the hospital, unless something turns out to be a lot worse than this, but it didn't in my case. Braxton contractions have been really, really strong this week. That could actually be due to me being dehydrated as well, because when you're dehydrated, you can actually put yourself into labor. And your Braxton contractions can turn into the real thing, and they're really, really strong. So, haven't had any today. I have also noticed a lot of pressure, really low, whenever I'm standing up, walking around. I've had leaky faucets. The milk, the colostrum, whatever you want to call it, is starting to present itself a little bit more now that I'm getting closer to full term. And I'm actually surprised, because with this pregnancy, it seems to be a bit more. So I'm kind of hoping that my milk supply with this pregnancy will be great, so that maybe I can at least breastfeed while I'm in the hospital shortly after I have her. Because with both of my boys, I didn't have nothing. And I mean, I had a little bit of leaking when I was pregnant, but it wasn't nothing. Like, after I gave birth, I dried up. Like, I didn't have anything. I actually have fibrocystic breast disease, so that played a huge major role in why I couldn't breastfeed them. And I'm really, like I said, I'm really shocked and surprised that I'm having so much colostrum leaking right now with this pregnancy, because I've never had it with my other two. So maybe things have changed for the better. This week, Liliana is the size of a cantaloupe or pineapple still. She is just a little over 4 pounds. I'm starting to think she's right at 4 pounds now, just because of the pressure that I'm feeling so low. And she is past the 17-inch mark in length. So she's starting to grow more and more. And she's also rapidly losing that wrinkled alien look to her, now that her skeleton is hardening more and she's putting on more baby fat. And she hasn't hiccuped as much this week, I've noticed. Normally after each meal I eat, doesn't matter when or what I eat or how much I eat of something, she always gets the hiccups that last a couple minutes. And I haven't noticed her hiccup but maybe 2 times this week. And normally I feel her hiccup up to at least 1 to 2 times a day. And it's only been like 2 times this week I've felt her hiccup. So also, she mostly lays, like, her body is always on my right side. And I can also tell her patterns as far as sleeping and waking. She's, technically right now she's sleeping, but if I was to go and lay flat on my back, she will start moving. It'll like jolt her, like she'll wake up. Because a change in my position, obviously she's gonna have to change hers. I don't have any baby buys this week to show you all. However, I can show you some things that I've made this week for her. And then we'll do a live weigh-in and then a belly shot. So for this week, I was kind of bored and I took my son's paints and decided to get a little artsy, and I took her piggy bank. I don't know if you guys can see. Well, up there. I can't, it's hard to point whenever I'm trying to look at myself in the camera. Up there in the corner, I actually showed it to you guys in a video. I had took her piggy bank and I sat it down and I looked at it and drew and drew and painted this picture of an owl that resembles the one of her piggy bank. And I figured something that I really wanted to do with it is put "I'll always love you," and I want to frame it, but I don't know how I'm gonna fit I'll Always Love You on here, because there's not a whole lot of space to work with since the owl is taking up most of the center. But yeah, if any of you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. But yeah, I'm not a very artsy person, so, you know, like I said, I just got kind of bored this week and decided to get a little crafty with myself. I made these really cute because I got a sewing machine from my brother for Christmas, and I put it to good use this week. I made these really cute, I'm calling them baby sacks, but you can put them in your child's diaper bag and use them for, like, to put, like, pacifiers in or little travel size items. I think I've made somewhere around 10 already so far, because I've had a couple people that wanted some. But I just had some fabric left over that I bought at Hobby Lobby a couple months back, and it was just sitting in my drawer. I made these cute little bags, and they coordinate with each other, but they're like two different patterns. So here's the back, and here's the front, and I put a little bow up in the corner, and it's just big enough to put like a pacifier, you know, something simple in, not too big. And I don't have anything to close it at the top, so it is a basic opening. I will be attaching zippers to them eventually once I get to my local craft store and pick some up, so that won't be too bad. I'll just have to turn it inside out and stitch the zippers to it on the inside. So yeah, it'll be a zipper that'll just go across the top. So here's this one. And then I had a friend that is also having a little girl, and her baby shower is in March, I think, and she wanted one. So I made her two. I made her this one, and here's the back side of it. And it's the same size as the other one, just big enough to put like a, it's more of like a, I guess you could say a passy pouch. Actually, that's got a good ring to it. So yeah. And then here's the other one, a zebra print. This one's a little bit more longer because it was actual material fabric that I had to cut out and measure. So the sizing is a little bit longer than these other ones. I'll show you guys what I mean. So you can see it's not as wide, but it's longer. So I made her these two. And then on the back it's solid black. And then I went on ahead and made this cute flag banner that I'm going to hang up here in her room. We had also bought her shelf this week at Lowe's, and it's kind of like the one like what Caleb had in here. His was brown, only the one we got for her is white. So we're going to be hanging that up above her changing table. Hopefully this week I'll have my husband do it. But yeah, so got this, and I just used my leftover fabric, like what I used to make these with, and stitched the top, and then took some ribbon and hot glued over. And so I'm just going to hang them up once we get our shelf up. I also made this. I had bought a diaper wipe case for her, a Huggies one, and I've seen these really easy tutorials on YouTube of how you can make the case covers. So I took the same fabric that I had from this, and I just measured out top and bottom and cut, and then hot glued, and then took some ribbon and went around the edge and added a cute little bow for embellishment. The only thing I have to do with it is add another strip of ribbon and these rhinestones across the bottom here all the way around. So I still have to do that, which I ran out of this saddle stitch ribbon, so I have to go back to my craft store and buy more so that I can finish. But it opens up like this, so I won't be able to use this because this part will be covered, but you can open it up like that. So, and to match it, I made her a little diaper sack that I could put her diapers in. So it matches, and I can fit probably about a good 4, maybe 5 or 6 diapers in here. So yeah, I really like it. And like I said, it's just a basic opening. The back is a basic black color, and it matches. So that is what I've made for her this week. That is everything. I will do a belly shot and a live weigh-in, and we will talk to you guys next week for week 34. It's getting here so fast. Also, I found her bedding that I'm going to officially get her that's going to match her room perfectly. It's got the colors of like her initials up there, and the colors also coordinate with this. So I would love to include a picture of it here, but I think I'm gonna wait and surprise you guys once we get it. I'll be ordering that the middle of this month from Amazon. So, and their shipping is like 3 to 5 business days. So hopefully around my 37-week video, I should have it. So anyways, belly shot and then a live weigh-in, and I'll talk to you all next week. Bye guys. So here is the front. Just wearing a loose little over top shirt that I can wear over my tank tops, because tank tops are starting to get a little snug, but I guess I could do this. It's this side. And this side. Last week I was 152, and this week I feel like I've definitely gained 157. Holy smokes! That's like a 5-pound gain in 1 week. That's so crazy.